Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Mr. Dimitre Kirlov, and he is on the line with us right now. Dimitre, good morning to you.
Good morning to you all.
Well, it's good to have you. Let me just guess. You're originally from Ireland or Scotland?
About 2,000 miles.
Okay.
So from the southern side.
The southern side, yeah, exactly. Well, it's great to have you on the air with us. Dimitre Kirlov is president of consumer services at a company called Montway Auto Transport. And with that name, I assume that you guys move cars around the country.
That's pretty accurate. We arrange for the transportation of vehicles, 50 states.
All 50 states. Well, we know absolutely nothing about your business. We know that it is a very active business. From what I understand, that I read somewhere that you guys, range for nearly 200,000 vehicles to be moved. That's a lot of iron you move around the country.
Absolutely. Yes, we doubled the size of the company between 19 and 21. So we've been growing for the past 15 years non-stop.
Where are you guys headquartered?
We're headquartered in Schaumburg, Illinois, just outside of Chicago.
Yes, Schaumburg.
But we do have offices in Detroit, Michigan, and some overseas as well.
So who do you transport for, primarily?
Well, on the consumer side, we transport for all kinds of people. The primary need for transportation is people moving around the country, and maybe they have a car or two or three, and even if they drive one, they cannot take care of the others, and they need professional help to do so. Then there will be people buying and or selling cars online. Obviously, nowadays e-commerce is big, and that's how our company was founded with that idea to bring e-commerce to auto transportation as well. A lot of your smaller dealership or people that do day trading in cars or car enthusiasts that collect vehicles of different kinds, that would be our primary crowd. On the B2B side would be dealerships, OEMs, rental car companies, fleet management companies, and the likes.
So in other words, if I wanted to ship a car over to, let's say, Scotland, you could arrange that?
We don't specialize so much in international transport, but very often we will supply the transportation to the port internally in the U.S., and then typically people either contract directly with companies that do international, but we can arrange it, we just don't specialize in that.
I understand. Okay.
So do you do any OEM transportation?
Yes and no. So we do help OEMs with usually mostly when they are a marketing part of the business. So traditionally OEMs hire directly car transporters, large car transporters with bid for their business. But if they fall behind, and they're behind on their business and they don't move the cars fast enough, then usually companies like ours are called to help out and bring additional capacity because the OEMs needs the cars on the dealership lots. Before they get there, they cannot book the revenue. So time is of the essence, and sometimes they need our help. But we do work very often with GM Financial, for example, and Toyota Financial. Usually their remarketing arms, it's more often that we work with OEMs.
As far as cost is concerned, I understand that it varies depending on several things. And the list is distance, location, the type of car being shipped. type of truck used to ship the vehicle, and the season. Let's go over those. Distance is pretty clear. I assume that you charge by the mile, at least, or that has some sort of effect on the overall cost.
Right, so we have actually the pretty sophisticated machine learning algorithm that estimates the cost at different routes and different times of the year, which is actually very important for people to have trust in the system, that they will be given an accurate estimate no matter what time of the year they like to move, and no matter what type of car and to what location. So one, yes, distance. The shorter the distance, the higher the cost per mile. The longer the distance, the lower the cost per mile, because once you load the truck, it's easier to drive it. And if you do a lot of stops, of course, you're getting behind on schedule, and you need to get paid more for more frequent stops. Then type of trailer is very important, because if you own a one-of-a-kind vehicle, or I've seen vehicles where the paint job costs as much as Honda Civic. So obviously you don't want to drive this car. You don't want it exposed to the elements. So you prefer an enclosed transport where the vehicle is placed inside the truck and is not exposed to weather, road debris, and the likes, which makes for much safer transport, and you can preserve your highly priced vehicle regardless if it's a high-end car or it's just a classic.
And does the fee also vary based on the priority or the timetable? Because I've shipped a number of cars to California and up to Dallas, and each time, if I was willing to wait for space on a truck that was headed my way, they would give me a discount, as opposed to I need it here Tuesday.
Sort of like overnight delivery.
Look at it in car transport, unless you really work on the B2B side, in most cases like OEMs or rental car companies that have vast number of vehicles to ship, and you can put it on a full truck, right, and have one pickup and possibly one drop-off of the full truck, then it's it's all partial loads, right? So in your specific case, right, it always works, but there has to be a truck nearby, and that's why the general time frames are always estimated.
Mm-hmm.
Now we do offer expedited shipment, right? Where we can pick up the vehicle on a specific date or within a couple of days for your convenience.
But there's an extra.
For example, you're moving across the country, right? And you want to keep your car until the last minute, but then you don't have anybody else to entrust it to release it to the shipper, to the truck. Then you may opt out for a guaranteed pickup within a day or two. It will cost you extra, but pretty much like the post office, regardless of rain, sleet, or snow, the vehicle will be picked up within those. We're what you would call a third-party logistics provider or a broker.
Yeah,
that arranges for the transportation. So we work with the customers, and we really invest a lot in educating the customer of how things work, and we have the manpower and the technology, to give them the estimated cost, to give them the time frame. We have the people on the phone, which would be almost impossible for a trucking company to do, because they need their trucks moving, so they need all these cars to be ready to go. They cannot sit and wait for the customer to get their car ready. So they depend on third-party companies like us to gather all these different vehicles and offer it to them at the time that they need them.
How does the insurance work on something like that? Let's just say that I've got a brand new $100,000 car that I've got a few miles on. I just took delivery on it a little while ago, and I just got transferred in my job, and I'm going to be moving to Wyoming. And from Houston, Texas, we're talking maybe about 1,500 miles. and a $100,000 car, how does insurance work? Does that use my insurance, or do you guarantee that it's going to get there without scratches and dings on it?
So there's no such guarantee, right? We all really work hard to make this happen. We have a fully staffed compliance department and also a fully staffed claims department. So the compliance department makes sure that the carriers that we hire have are licensed and insured, including the cargo insurance, which surprisingly enough, it is not actually required by law for them to have. So they're required to have a liability insurance, however, not a cargo insurance, which makes it a little bit of a nightmare for us to make sure that the insurance that we have on file is valid and it's paid for, and it's so our customers are protected. In case anything happens, right, as I mentioned, we do have our claims department that works with the customer and with the carrier to make sure that the claim is processed, and if there's transport damage, the customer is made whole.
So do you kind of score your carriers that, here are my high performers with very low damage complaints, and here are the guys who have a lot of damage complaints and I'm not going to use them anymore? Do you guys kind of monitor that internally?
Absolutely. As I said, we've been actually the flagship of our industry to create a lot of first things, including having a compliance and claims department that none of our competitors had at the time when we started doing that. And it's all because of the customer, right? We want the customer to feel sure that they're hiring the right company and they're taken care of, and we want to make sure that close to 80,000 reviews that we have out there with about 4.7, 4.8 star average prove that must be doing something right. And yes, that is the goal.
I have to ask, there's a company that, of course, we drive press cars, and I know that there's one company called Reliable Auto Transport. They transport a lot of the press vehicles to press events and that sort of stuff. Do you use people like that specialize in auto transport?
Yes, so we do work with Reliable because, again, even though they've been in business for almost 40 years and they have their own contracts, sometimes they need additional help to get some business, and sometimes we do need a high-end specific hauler like Reliable, because in some cases, and we had a specific contract with the United States Postal Service, if I'm not mistaken, where we needed a specific type of truck that Reliable could provide. That being said, the difference here is that Reliable, being the trucking company, I'm not even going to talk about the cost, but the specific of it is that, if you give them a call, they'll tell you, okay, this is the cost, and it's going to take somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks for us to pick up your vehicle, right? So, of course, the majority of our customers don't want to do that. They want that their vehicle picked up within a day or two, or worst case scenario, within a few days. And this is where we come in, right? And besides providing, in most cases, a better price option, we also provide timelier service in general.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world.
And do you typically, when you pick up a vehicle and put it on the truck, does it not immediately, but does it get delivered from that truck to the consumer, or in some instances, will it go to a hub, be unloaded from that truck, loaded onto another truck, and delivered to the customer?
Staging area.
Yeah, staging area.
So staging is not, it actually becomes really expensive. That's why but we are logistics provider, right? We're a logistics company, and sometimes we have to make those solutions, right? So you don't want to overload the cost to the consumer, and you try to make it as affordable as possible. And every stop and every hub adds to the cost and the time frame, of course. So ideally, we want the same truck that picked up the vehicle to deliver it. This would be the cheaper way of doing it, the most secure as well, because you don't have to transfer it from one truck to another and one company to another potentially, or store it in a hub. But it's also, really helps with the cost and the time frame. So in special occasions, right? Say, for example, we work with also with moving relocation companies, and we do have our own relocation customers, as we said, right? And sometimes they may need a specific time frame that a truck may not be available, like you mentioned earlier, to pick up within that time frame. So in those cases, we'll either send a vehicle to a different midpoint location, or we'll pick it up locally, and we'll need to wait a few days for the actual transporting truck to pick it up and bring it to the end location.
Sure.
This will really depend on the spot. But if people, I hope people understand a little bit of geography here. But let's say if you have a car in the middle of Florida, right, like Orlando, Miami, Tampa, it doesn't even matter, right? It's not that difficult to pick it up and bring it to whatever location in the country directly on a truck. However, if the vehicle is in Pensacola, Florida, right? Now it becomes a completely different case if you have to take it, let's say, for example, for the East Coast or the Midwest. And if time is of the essence, you actually may need to break this in two, and depending where the car is going, maybe bring it up to Atlanta and then send it up to the East Coast. Or if it's going to Minnesota, for example, maybe you bring it to Chicago and then arrange for another truck to pick it up from Chicago.
Kind of like an airplane flight.
Yeah,
exactly. A little
Well,
layover.
we really appreciate you coming on and educating us on the auto transport business. Very, very good information for us. I've posted up your Montway.com website on our social media. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Dimitre.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, my friend.
Have a
Talk to
great
you.
day.
Okay, you do the same. All right, Dimitre Kirlov, President of Consumer Service,
Good
Montway.
information.
Yeah, it is. You see them on trucks headed out going somewhere, and you go, wonder where they're going.
I'm going to go back in time and look. I think Montway was one that I used moving Austin's Honda back here to Houston.
Interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Hey, I wanted to remind everybody, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Moving on now, time for the events calendar.
So on the October the 8th, the All Ford Car Show is going to be at Gullo Ford in Conroe, Texas. Starts at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sunday, October the 9th, is the October Hot Rod Madness at the Rocks Sports Bar off of Louetta, and that starts at 9 a.m. The Bug Off is next weekend in Navasota.
Oh, yeah.
Get that bug off of there.
You got to get bugs off the front of your car right now. All those love bugs are just...
You know what, Conrad? You're bugging me right now, buddy. So.
October the 15th, the VW Harvest in Leander, Texas. Also, October the 15th, Saturday, the Cypress Cars and Coffee off of Louetta Road and 290. October the 16th, the annual Corvette Car Show at Town Green Park in the Woodlands. Are you going?
Tom Green Park?
Town Green.
Town Green.
Yeah, are you going? You going to bring the vet?
No.
Oh,
not.
okay.
Not.
October the 16th is the Mustang Club of Houston Fall Open Car Show, and that's at Planet Ford. It's kind of cool to see how the Mustang Clubs get so much support from the Ford dealers. And then on October the 22nd...
Because of the dough that they spend at the Ford dealers.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
why.
The ASCO 3rd Annual Car Show benefiting Camp Hope, and that's at ASCO Equipment at 980 North Sam Houston Parkway. Next Sunday is Coffee and Chrome.
Yeah, that's right. At the
Avalon Diner.
Avalon Diner.
Thank you.
Not only a good car event, dang good food.
Yeah, exactly. Breakfast
If
is
you're into food.
particularly good. Okay, time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars has been driving the Kia EV6.
All right.
Car not too long ago, so it was sitting out in the driveway, and so I had a little bit of a head
Preview?
start on you.
A preview.
A preview, yeah, because we got to look at it out there, so I had a little bit of head start trying to.
Did you
figure
ask
out what
for it, or
everything
they
was.
just send it to you anyway?
Well, it was fun to drive.
You completely ignored the question.
Yes, I did. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Yeah.
So it's the 2022 EV6. It has a GT line rear-wheel drive. Now, this is an all-electric vehicle, and it was rather interesting that, of course, when you come down my way, the closest really charger for a vehicle like this is 25 miles away. So it got
When he
there
says come down my way, he's talking about
deep southeast Texas,
Neaterville. Do you know where Neaterville is?
about 100 miles east of Houston.
In the Golden Triangle.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
So it got there, had 92% left in the battery, so I thought that was really good. So this is an all-new vehicle for 2022. It comes in 4 trim levels, which light, wind, GT line, and first edition. I don't know what they're going to do whenever it comes out next year, if first edition's still going to be the first edition, or it's going to be the second first edition, or if it'll be a new second edition. So anyway, we had the GT line all-wheel drive. Now, this is a small crossover.
Oh my God. You know, leave it to Mars to confuse the issue.
So it's a small crossover / hatchback. So it's a compact vehicle, and I kind of liken it more to the hatchback side of anything else. Really fits only 4 passengers. It's got a very sporty look to it. Very futuristic styling for an EV as far as I'm concerned, even for an EV. It was a steel matte gray. It's kind of like a matte color. It is a matte paint.
No, it
and
is, yeah.
It gives it a really nice look with the black trim and the chrome
Sporty.
that's on it. I really like the door handles. So did my wife. Whenever you walk up to it, the door handles kind of pop out. They're just a lever, and it looks kind of weird, but it's really cool that they do that. Got power folding side mirrors. Got a smart power lift tailgate. It's got a wide sunroof. The sunroof is really wide across the top of it, which we didn't
How
open it
wide
much
is it?
in the 105-degree
Really wide.
heat.
Did Becky stand up in the sunroof?
No, she did not.
And waved.
She wouldn't
to-
get in. She's afraid she'd get burnt, like you do ants with a magnifying glass. So it's got LED lighting on the outside of it all the way around. We had the 19-inch alloy wheels that were with a black finish. So with that matte gray, it really, really looks good. It has a tow package. I never did figure out exactly what it'll tow, but it says it has a tow package on
Big
it.
toe or little toe?
It didn't say. That's what I was saying. I was looking. I couldn't figure it out. So you get to the inside of it. Again, it's very modern looking, very functional, kind of futuristic. It has vegan leather seating material.
Wait a minute. Vegan.
Vegan leather.
I had to ask the same thing. What does vegan leather mean?
Means it's not a dead cow.
That's what I was told. So
By an Italian, apparently.
I guess.
the front seats are heated,
ball.
ventilated. The rear seats are actually heated as well. It's got dual panoramic 12.3-inch displays, so the whole dash lights up with all kinds of information on it. It's got a 360-degree parking camera on it that come in really, really handy
Isn't
on that
every
thing.
cow a vegan?
And they eat grass. So up under the hood, I found a lot of interesting things up under there.
What's
It's a
under there?
160-watt kilowatt motor, which is equal to 225 horsepower,
LS.
258 pound-feet of torque. So this thing will get up and scooter poot real quick. It's rated for 29 kilowatts per 100 miles.
What
Now,
that
I
doesn't
did the
mean.
calculations. Now, that's 134 in the city, 101 on the highway, combined for 117 is what the EPA says to get a 310-mile range. I don't know. I don't think it'll go 310 miles. It won't with me driving it for sure. So I got 3.1 miles per kilometer hour or kilometer hour. So I'm a little bit lower than what the EPA says it should be at 3.44 across the 112 miles that I drove it.
But nobody understands that crap except
The
Buzz
person writing
Smith.
it.
Yeah, he probably does. But that's the information that I could dig up on the EPA and the ratings on
Oh.
it. So from a driving experience, it's really not so much SUV as it is. To me, it's got a little bit more of a track feel. It's not a track car, but it just got a little more sporty feel to it that goes along with the way it looks. It's kind of firm. To me, it's a little noisy in the back because of it picks up a lot of road noise in the back. So it's not as quiet as some of them. Now, if you're on a good new asphalt road, that thing is whisper quiet going down the road, crank up the stereo, everything is good. So basically, you get a little more driving experience, but it's going to cost you a little bit of noise. There is some weird headsets in it. They really stick out far. I thought that was kind of strange. But anyway, It's got some real thick rear pillars. I think it'd be nice if they were a little bit thinner to make it to where you could see out of it a little bit better. Now, the base trim price on this vehicle, you can get a base model for $41,400. Now, that's the light model, appropriately named. But the base trim price for the one that I was driving was the $51,200. As tested, it's $53,405. Tesla Model 3 is going to start out at $46,900. Volvo Polestar, $45,900. The VW ID4 at $42,500. And the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is going to start out at $41,000. So it's all priced right in there together. The mileage range that they're rated at is all around there and together. But I really had a lot of people, particularly young ladies, come up and ask me about the car.
They weren't looking at you, I can tell
Right
you that.
up until I told them it had a 250-mile range, and they said, I can't go to Houston in it, so that's out.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeart Radio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts at your fingertips from your favorite podcast source. In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having a car social. Saturday, October 15th, 9 to noon. It's a cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Porsches, Corvettes, and Shelby Mustangs. Get social at this first ever event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Car Social takes place Saturday, October 15th, 9 to noon. Tell your friends, bring your car, and enjoy this rare opportunity to see Houston's finest rides. You'll also learn about nano-ceramic coatings, ExoShield for your windshield, and Expel window tint, among others. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Join us for Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield Saturday, October 15th, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer and all the details.